Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tipsy Ghosts. We're your tipsy hosts, Sarah, and Lindsey.
Hey guys.
Hi. Hi.
You know, I love to give you fun random facts, but would you like some creepy facts?
Oh my God.
Of course.
Thought you'd never ask.
Okay. The first one. You are still aware for a few seconds after you were decapitated.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that.
Yeah.
How did you know that? I didn't know this. I knew chickens were.
Lady...
Marie Antoinette. Didn't
Were
she
you
have
going
her
to say
eyes?
Lady in Red?
No, I was going to say Antoinette, and then I realized it's Marie Antoinette. Weren't her eyes open?
I thought it was one of like King...
And Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn.
Yeah.
That's it.
Both of them were decapitated.
Uh-huh.
And they still had reactions after
their
that.
eyes were open.
So there have been several people who have been decapitated, and they would continue to blink afterwards and make eye contact with people. And then
That's really creepy.
Slowly start to lose that eye contact or awareness, whatever it is you want to call.
Imagine.
I can't.
Fun fact, we went to the Tower of London where several people were beheaded.
Really?
Yes. We got to see the kneeling stone. I forget what they called it.
Where they like kneel down and put their heads
Yeah.
to be separated from their bodies.
Yes. It's a little weird. They have like giant pictures of Anne Boleyn everywhere. But yet they cut off her head.
Yeah.
Or he did. But anyhow.
Probably because they realized now that they were in the wrong.
Yeah.
It was not a good thing. Anyways, I did not know that. I knew that chickens were, but I did not know humans.
Forgot about chickens.
Chickens are very closely related to humans, so you should know. We both have heads.
So do lots of animals. Lots of animals have heads.
And we're closely related.
I would argue most animals, if
Most
not all.
things have had.
Okay. All right. So here is a creepy space fact.
I love space.
Space
No.
creeps us out, right?
Yeah.
Space.
There's a black hole named Phoenix A, and it is estimated to be 100 billion times the mass of our sun, which is comparable to the mass of an entire galaxy. Its event horizon is 590 billion kilometers wide, or more than 100 times the distance from the sun to the Pluto. So if we're going to break this down,
Not the Pluto.
if we're going to break this down, we're going to shrink the solar system
Okay.
by 1 trillion times. So then the sun is a millimeter wide.
It just feels
it's
like
tiny.
Monopoly numbers.
Got it.
Pluto is about 5 meters away. Okay.
All right.
And the black hole would be 590 meters wide when the sun is 1 millimeter.
It's like, I can't even grasp it.
It's like almost 580
It's a lot bigger.
times.
More than that, because 1 millimeter to 590 meters.
I'm not good at math.
It's a lot bigger.
590,000 times
So where is this black
the
hole?
size of the sun.
And follow-up question, are we hurling towards
We
it?
are not near it, no. It is just like something that is out there, and it's just ginormous. Space is terrifying. Any space fact, I'm like, I don't want to hear about it. A black hole that's ginormous, that's bigger than our galaxy? No.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the movie Interstellar?
I have not seen Interstellar, actually, because space terrifies me.
That's why it's such a good movie.
Like, what's the other one? Gravity?
Oh, I don't like that one where she gets separated. Is that
The
Sandra
trailer
Bullock
alone,
or
yes.
whatever? Yeah, I
And
haven't
George
watched that
Clooney.
one.
The trailer alone, like, terrified me. I
I
couldn't watch
agree.
it.
Space movies are the scariest to me. But Interstellar is very good and the music is amazing.
What's the one with Jennifer Lawrence where they like wake up to
Passenger or
passengers?
something. Yeah.
I have seen Passengers.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one too.
Yeah. Space is so like out there that I just don't even think it's real. Like I know it's real, but it's like
It really is out there.
my brain can't comprehend it. So I'm like, okay, meteor coming towards us. Sure, whatever. Black hole gonna eat us. Okay. I mean,
Hopefully it won't.
And
But our
yet-
sun's probably going to turn into a black hole eventually.
yeah. Anyway, so I just don't. My brain can't comprehend space.
We know more about space than the oceans. That's even
That's
more
true.
terrifying.
Yeah, the ocean and space are where aliens are.
Yeah. Don't you think it's scary to think that there's no other life form in space than if there is?
Well, I don't believe that we're the only life forms. on
That was
this
mostly
planet.
for Lindsay because I know you do.
It was
I know you believe.
100% aimed at me.
Like whenever Earth ends, we just end as a creation, which is why I think that God created more than just Earth.
They created Stonehenge.
That's part of Earth. But yeah,
All right. The chemical composition of human tissue is so similar to that of pigs that if the average individual would not be able to tell the difference if they were eating pork or human.
especially in America.
That's disgusting.
Why especially in America?
As a whole, we're an obese population, and I feel like pigs have extra skin and tissue, and so do we.
You will not find me eating pig or human.
You don't eat pig? You don't eat pork? Like pulled pork? Like barbecue?
Not really. I mean, I will sometimes, but what if it's pulled human? You won't know.
Pulled human? Ew. Fun fact, sharks, they have 2 penises. Ducks, their penis breaks off after intercourse, and then it regrows for the next mating season.
Oh, it's like a wasp.
Why?
Don't
The
they?
wasp does that?
Yeah.
Oh, like, I
They're
thought they're
stinger.
stingers, yeah.
It's pointy. Like, it could break off.
Okay, the average person comes across 36 murderers in their life, assuming that you live to 100 years, which that's not happening.
I will tell you this. That is something that I have thought of.
I mean, 36 murderers.
Yeah, like how many times are you driving by, like down the highway, and you look over and you're like, is that guy a murderer?
Or even just walking down the street or at work
I
or
don't,
in the
I
store.
don't walk in public, no.
What do you do? Crawl? In
No.
public?
I choose not to public.
I duck down.
Army crawling,
Crab walk.
Army crawling down the street.
I pretend I don't have legs.
You snail.
Yes.
Ew.
Ew. But 36 murderers. I feel like that's a lot.
In a lifetime? Also, but you would have really good odds.
The odds are ever
Or
in your
are
favor.
you just not favorable?
Okay. I have a smorgasbord episode for you guys.
Smorgasbord.
Beautiful.
Wow,
Thank
we
you.
were actually in unison.
And because I was missing England so much, I went to England for the smorgasbord.
Yay!
I didn't
Do
look
tell.
up how to pronounce any of these, so.
I'm an expert, I can tell you.
Okay. This is called the Hollinwell Incident.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to a Sunday morning, July 13th, 1980. And there is a festival at the Hollinwell Showground in Kirkby and Ashfield in Nottinghamshire, England.
Okay, that part's right.
England. Yeah, that was good.
The Hollinwell Show is an annual event at the showground, and this year they decided to host an event called the Forest League of Juvenile Jazz Bands, which is the
Wow.
FLJJB.
Forest League, though.
The Forest League of Juvenile Jazz Bands.
Jazz bands in the forest.
Flujiba.
Juvenile. Juvie jazz.
That sounds like a condition.
Juvie jazz.
Juvenile Jazz.
In the forest. Wow.
So around 500 children from 11 marching bands were there, and they came.
500
Wow.
children.
Yes, it was a big deal.
There's a
Ew.
lot of
They
juveniles.
had 11 marching bands. You think about how many people make up a marching band. It's not just one person in each
Well, you're right.
instrument.
At least 2.
What instrument would you play?
Oh, the triangle.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
It's an important part.
That is. I feel like that part gets solos. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Ding.
No,
Okay.
you have to go like this. Like that.
It's not dinner time.
It's part of the song.
What part would you play?
I would be the flag girl.
Oh, okay. Yes, you would. You'd be out there dancing with your flag. 100%.
What is so funny about that?
She would. Why are you laughing at that?
I thought that was an accurate response.
Okay, she was on the dance team.
Or I play the
This
drum
is
line.
Not a. Ooh, that would be
That
cool.
sounds fun. I would not be good at it. But
I would play
like
the trumpet.
to.
That's what I always wanted to play. My mom didn't let me.
You played the clarinet instead.
Yes,
Because
because
honked.
yes, because she already owned that instrument. She didn't want to pay for it.
Do you have the cheeks for a trumpet?
I think
You gotta
so.
blow your cheeks.
Blow your cheeks out. Maybe. You have to work on your cheek girth.
I'll work on that. Okay, you work on your triangle skills.
I will, but not the kind for dinner.
I feel like it's all in the wrist.
Just a single ding.
Oh.
No,
You just
no,
want
ma'am.
to end the number.
I'm just like the cherry on top.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
I bring the whole thing together. Sarah tosses her flags in the air.
She's
catches
catching them and twirling around. She's loving her life.
while she's playing the drums.
I don't know if
She'll
I'm
do
that
that,
talented.
And then she'll put down her flag and run. And
I mean, if I could, I would.
I love
Don't
it.
doubt me.
And then you can play the trumpet.
And then I'll play the trumpet. And then we can be our own marching band.
Thank God.
I told you, didn't we need that many people?
But 500 children were there. They were going to start at 9 a.m. Okay, so they're there. They're ready. It's July. It's hot. They're wearing these huge... I mean, I don't know if y'all know what marching bands wear. It is
Yes.
like some thick clothing and these huge hats. They are hot. They are sweaty, is what I'm getting at. And around 10:30, the band members begin to collapse without any apparent explanation.
They're hot and sweaty.
Yeah, they're dressed up too hot.
Children began, quote, falling down like ninepins, and the bodies began to fall like dominoes.
What is an... Oh, like a bowling pin?
That was a quote, so I'm assuming that's an England phrase.
Yeah, the old 9-pin.
Symptoms included vomiting, sore eyes, sore throats, and dizziness. One victim said, quote, "My legs and arms felt as if they had no bones in them and I had a bad headache."
He turned it.
He said, "I felt like jelly." And he fell to the ground. A police officer who later responded to the scene said it was like, quote, "a battlefield with bodies everywhere."
Oh my. That would be traumatizing.
It is estimated around 300 individuals fainted.
Yeah, because they were hot.
Children, adults, and even some infants collapsed suddenly without warning.
Where did their bones go?
Question, how does an infant collapse?
Like pass out? It can pass out in like a mother's arms.
You're holding it and it's just...
Children can pass out. Babies can pass out.
I believe it.
Okay. A mother said that her daughter came to her and said, quote, "Mummy, I don't feel well."
That's adorable.
And she was frothing at the mouth.
That's not adorable. My bad.
Okay, did they all get bit by a raccoon?
No.
It happened over a period of 3 to 4 hours, and they said 5 to 6 people would collapse at a time. So it was like very like...
Something in the air.
Okay.
Some people would collapse, then some people would collapse.
It was hot. Were they all given like water, a rehydrating drink?
I'm sure that means a festival with food and water and drinks and
It
stuff.
was laced.
Possibly. We'll see. We'll get to the theories soon. So, of the estimated 300 individuals, 259 were taken to 4 nearby hospitals, and 9 children were kept overnight. The majority of them were observed and then were able to be discharged. Ambulances lined up and began carting them off to the hospitals. People reported that it was madness as parents began searching for their children in all of the chaos. One person reported, quote, "One of the biggest frighteners was that many ambulances. People hadn't seen so many since the Second World War."
Wow.
Can you imagine if there was 300 people who needed to be taken to the hospitals?
No.
They're all at this field. The amount of ambulances that must have been coming.
You know what I've never thought of is ambulances in the World War.
I have not either.
I guess I never have either, but yeah.
Huh.
So let's get to some of the major theories. All right. Major theory number 1 is food poisoning.
Okay.
It's a festival. There's food there.
Festivities.
Yes. So the initial investigations were conducted by the Ashfield District Council. So investigation began with the food. Announcements were made warning people to not eat anything until the source of the fainting had been found. And this was while people were still fainting. They go overhead and they're like, "Don't eat anything."
Might be a little late, but
people, of course, started panicking. They're like, "But I ate something.
I already did. Am I going to die?
I already ate something. Am I going to faint?"
Faints.
So investigators soon found out, number 1, many of the children had brought their own food from home. So they didn't even eat at the festival. And then later they discussed tests that conducted on samples of the food showed no contamination. There was nothing wrong with the food there. So that was ruled out.
Poor food vendors were like, what did I do?
I swear I didn't serve half of these people. A chemical cloud was the next theory.
Oh, sure. Like a terrorist attack?
Mm-hmm.
Or pesticides, because this is at a field where there's a lot of farms around.
Oh, yeah, by the forest. It's a forest.
It's a
What
forest.
did you forget?
It's in a field.
We need to pesticide the forest.
Pesticide. Is that a verb?
Yes.
Okay.
It is
Spray.
Pesticide.
All right. The theory was that the children had been exposed to a pesticide or some other airborne toxin. So newspapers started releasing headlines that said, quote, "Gas cloud KOs children."
Oh, no. Knock him out?
Oh.
I just love the sensationalized headline.
Did they even know that for sure? Why are they saying
No.
That was my ancestors. I just know it.
that? Being dramatic and shit.
So this obviously
KO'd
helped with the
out.
fear. It helped with the anxiety. It really was a great headline to run.
Yeah, it caught everybody's attention.
Farmers operating in the area confirmed that fields nearby had not been sprayed for several years. Other investigations failed to link any chemicals to the incident. The Nottinghamshire Fire Service reported that the wind on that day had been blowing in the wrong direction. It wouldn't even have carried the fumes from the farms to the festival.
Yeah.
Debunked.
Ooh, okay. Here's my next theory. Somebody
Uh-oh.
lined all of the mouthpieces with
Oh, like the
Drugs.
instruments.
That would take a lot of work.
What about the triangle person? What if somebody from the triangle or the percussion fainted?
well, then I mean they're licking their triangle. I don't know. Kids will be kids.
Ew.
They're licking their drumstick. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so this was debunked back in 1980 when this happened, but in 2003, the BBC reported that there was a use of the pesticide tridomorph. So this conflicts with the initial report, and this comes, like I said, 20, 30 years later. But the official report did say there was a use of Calaxin, which is a pesticide that contains tritomorph. But it was not dangerous at the time, but we have found out in the years past that it is pretty dangerous, and it was used for years to spray across crops around the world. But there was no incidents reported because the main thing it caused was eye and skin irritation. So it was banned in 2000 by the British government, this tritomorph, after the World Health Organization found it to be harmful. But again, it just caused eye and skin irritation, not fainting spells and foaming at the mouth.
Exactly. That's not it.
So take it with a grain of salt. Now we know it's dangerous, but was it that dangerous back then?
My salt says no.
Thank you.
Her salt says no.
It does.
Military testing.
Yes.
Ooh.
That stuff happened in the States.
I know. And listen, who knows what was going on in Britain? Some people believe that there was some chemical agent that was testing for chemical warfare at a nearby military base, but this has obviously not been confirmed.
Nor will they.
They will never confirm this.
Whoops, we fucked up and got a lot of kids sick.
Our bad.
Maddie.
All right. One theory is that kids were fainting because there was hot uniforms on the day of the marching band. But, you know, infants fainted, adults fainted as well. So they were not dressed in the marching band uniform.
But it was hot.
And the one that the officials have officially gone with as the cause, mass hysteria.
Oh my God.
I was waiting for it. Not that again.
Boydson is all for this theory.
How
I
do
can
they
tell
claim
already.
The babies knew what was going on.
So stupid.
So obviously nobody was thrilled with this theory, especially the families. They were very angry, defensive, and they were like, no, this was real. Like, our children were legitimately sick.
The government said, I believe that you believe that your children were sick.
We believe that you believe that your baby passed out.
But they said how to explain the physical symptoms. Like, they were vomiting, they were foaming at the mouth, they had respiratory effects. So people who were there insisted that the fainting and the sickness was real, and this was not mass hysteria. One parent even said that her daughter went to the marching band festival, came home 2 hours later, started showing symptoms, and passed out. So she's like, where's your theory there?
Where's your theory now?
And that is her exact quote, where's your theory there? I love that.
Government.
They reported that, yeah, it was insanely hot and there was a strong smell in the air.
Well, there's a lot of
Body
stinky
odor.
kids. Yeah.
No,
Kids
they
do
thought
not
it was
use
like a
deodorant.
poison in the atmosphere is what the parents were saying.
There must be some poison in the atmosphere.
I said,
Brr. It's
yeah, I'm
hot
Sick in here.
Yeah.
All right. Things that support this, though, are that when the fainting began, officials warned people, don't eat the food. Don't eat the food. We got to test the food. So then people who ate the food started fainting versus people who hadn't eaten the food. And then they said, wait, it might be the water. Maybe the water's contaminated. And then people who drank the water started fainting. And they were like, okay, maybe there's some component of hysteria here. Who knows? One forensic scientist at Nottingham Trent University, his name is John Wright, he speculated many decades later that different cleaning products could have been used in the toilets, the porta potties that were there, and when combined, they could have created a chlorine gas. He said, quote, there was a strong aroma of chlorine and ammonia present in the toilet block, which was some 20 yards from where the children had been standing. If you go back to basic chemistry, you don't mix chemicals.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you make things like chlorine gas, which is what they used in World War I. Was there a potential for some form of gas drifting across the field? The toilets weren't very far from these mass bands. If the bands were feeling a bit lightheaded, getting a whiff of something nasty could have caused them to collapse. End quote. And then he further said that chlorine gas makes you cough and retch, vomit, and all these things are accounted for. There is vomiting, eyes watering, people foaming at the mouth. Did that cause it? It's an open question. End quote.
We'll never know.
okay.
We'll never know.
Like, were their arms heavy? Were their knees weak?
Was mom's spaghetti?
Maybe they were just losing themselves.
I wonder if they played that song.
So he's basically saying, look, people reported
Eminem.
that there was a
the
strong
triangle.
smell in the air. Maybe it was chlorine gas.
See? That's why you need to learn.
Which, by the way, did you know that chlorine gas was used in World War I? I did not.
Yes.
You did? You're
That
so
sounds
smart.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, if anybody says it happened, I believe it.
So to this day, this remains an unsolved mystery. The official report back in the 80s said it was mass
Wrong.
hysteria. Interestingly enough, official records from that event have disappeared.
Of course they
Oh,
have.
weird.
The government definitely had something to do with it.
Some individuals continue to report long-term health issues from this incident. So several people who are adults now, they were children when this happened, have reported breast cancer, continued like respiratory effects at a young age, like COPD and asthma
Yeah,
that
it
they
was
didn't have
mustard gas.
before.
What year did you say it was again?
1980.
The year of the mustard gas.
It's like after Cold War.
But it was in Britain. Britain wasn't really involved in the Cold War, were they?
But everybody was still trying to prepare.
That's true.
Mustard gas.
So Dr. John Wood, he is the director of health for the Kirkby area.
Your husband's grandpa?
He said, quote, "The whole thing is a complete mystery."
No, it's not. You're wrong.
In a festival, I don't know what kind of festival, but was held in the same field
festival.
later without any trouble.
Weird.
He continues to report that mass hysteria is the most likely cause of this event.
It's just a easy cop out.
And one last theory that people reported, but I couldn't find anything to back it up, but I'm just going to let you know. Some people thought this was the work of aliens.
That would be a real dick move on their end.
You know, there are very few occasions.
Make people real sick and be like, fuck off.
300 kids.
Yeah.
You're all
fly
going to
away.
faint.
Almost everything is aliens, and I don't believe that was it.
I agree.
I don't think it was aliens, no. I think it was some chemical.
Yeah.
Something chemical that they're not willing to admit to.
Yeah. They fucked up somehow. They don't want to admit it.
Mass hysteria doesn't seem to fit. Like, infants do not faint with mass hysteria. And that was one of the major arguments with mass hysteria. Like, some of the moms were like, my infant fainted in my arms. That is not a mass hysterical event.
They haven't even developed eyesight.
They don't know what's going on. Or like the children who were at the festival and then went home and started frothing at the mouth and fainted 2 hours later.
My theory is still with mustard gas.
I'm thinking it's some... I mean, I can get the ammonia gas, like he was saying. Like, maybe they just combined chemicals when cleaning the bathrooms, and it just...
No, it was intentional.
Oh, okay. You're going with intentional. The government did this.
I'm going conspiracy theory.
I should have known.
When in doubt, it's the government.
When in doubt, government conspiracies.
There's enough in the States, so I'm sure there's some over there, too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Britain's had some conspiracies.
We're not the only shitty people in the
That's
world.
right. There's got to be others.
It's not just us, right?
Right?
We're not the only ones who have experimented on our own people and then lied about it for decades until we're like, oh yeah, by the way, in the 70s we did do that.
Here's
Remember
just
that?
a small blip of what we did.
By the way, we did this and it was bad of us and we're sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, those guys were telling the truth. And
We screwed up.
whoops.
All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in this week to our smorgasbord episode. You can always find us at thetipsyghost.com with our socials linked from there, or send us an email at thetipsyghost@gmail.com.
Please give us a 5-star rating and a great review anywhere you listen to podcasts. We really appreciate it, and it really does help.
All right, guys, thanks so much. We'll catch you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.